There is a plant sitting in American garden centers right now that can disturb the rhythm of a human heart. Another one can send a healthy dog into liver failure after one careless bite. A third may already be inside your house, sitting quietly on a shelf, looking like nothing more than a beautiful green decoration. These are not rare jungle plants. They are not hidden in remote forests. They are sold in ordinary nurseries, home improvement stores, florist departments, and seed catalogs across the United States every single season. Many of them come with watering instructions, sunlight advice, and pretty labels, but no clear warning about what they can do to children pets or even adults when something goes wrong. In this video, we are looking at 5 common plants that deserve far more caution than they receive. You will learn what makes each one dangerous, how the toxin affects the body, and what safer plant can give you the same beauty without the same risk. And number 3 may already be in your living room right now today. The first plant is Oleander. Walk through a garden center in Southern California, Texas, Florida, Arizona, or anywhere along the Gulf Coast, and you may see it immediately. Long, narrow green leaves, thick evergreen growth. Clusters of pink, white, red, or salmon-colored flowers. From a distance, Oleander looks like the perfect flowering hedge for a hot American yard. That is exactly why it sells so well. Oleander handles heat drought, wind-poor soil, and neglect better than many ornamental shrubs. In warm regions, especially USDA zones 8 through 11, it can become a tall privacy screen with very little work. Cities plant it along highways and medians because it survives where other plants struggle. Homeowners plant it because it gives color, height, and structure without demanding constant attention. But the beauty of Oleander hides one of the most serious plant risks in ordinary landscaping. Every part of this plant is toxic: the leaves, flowers, stems, roots, and even the smoke from burned trimmings. Oleander contains cardiac glycosides compounds that interfere with the electrical rhythm of the heart. That is the part most plant tags never explain. A medicine related to this chemical family may be useful when a doctor gives it in a carefully measured dose, but a leaf from a hedge is not medicine. It has no controlled dose, no safe label, and no margin for guessing. The danger becomes even more serious after pruning. A standing hedge may not interest a dog, but fresh clippings left on the ground are different. They smell new, they are easy to grab, and they sit exactly where pets, horses, or curious children can reach them. In animals, poisoning may cause drooling stomach pain, vomiting, diarrhea, weakness, irregular heartbeat, collapse, or death. That is why Oleander should never be treated as ordinary yard waste. Do not burn it. Do not leave cut branches where pets can reach them. Wear gloves when pruning, bag the clippings, and keep children away from fallen leaves. If you want the same bold flowering hedge without the same hidden danger, choose hibiscus instead. Hardy hibiscus, rose of Sharon, and tropical hibiscus all give large, colorful flowers and a lush summer look. They attract hummingbirds and pollinators, fill space beautifully, and give you the garden drama people love about Oleander without putting your family or animals at the same cardiac risk. The second plant is Foxglove. At first glance, Foxglove looks like it belongs in a storybook garden. Tall flower spikes rise above the border covered in bell-shaped blooms in purple, pink, cream, lavender, or white. Look closely, and you will see spotted throats inside the flowers, almost like someone painted them by hand. Bees push their way into the blooms. Hummingbirds visit them again and again. For a cottage garden, it is hard to find a plant with more charm. That beauty is why Foxglove appears in so many landscapes, especially in cooler regions like the Pacific Northwest, the Upper Midwest, and the Northeast. It gives height where most flowers stay low. It reseeds easily. In the right conditions, it may return year after year without much help from the gardener. Seed catalogs and nurseries sell that as a feature. But inside those graceful flowers is a serious heart toxin. Foxglove contains digitalis glycosides, the same chemical family connected with drugs such as digoxin and digitoxin. In medicine, compounds like these are handled with extreme care because the useful dose and the dangerous dose can be close together. In a living foxglove plant, there is no measured dose at all. The leaf, flower, stem, and seed all contain toxic compounds. If swallowed, foxglove can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, weakness, confusion, visual changes, low blood pressure, and dangerous changes in heart rhythm. In severe cases, it can lead to collapse or cardiac failure. That is not a mild stomach upset. It is a poisoning event that requires immediate help. Children are at special risk because the flowers look inviting. Pets may chew leaves or fallen plant material. Gardeners can also become careless when cutting back stalks, collecting seeds, or pulling self-seeded plants that appear in places they were never intentionally planted. If you want the same vertical color without the same cardiac risk, choose snapdragons or penstemon. Snapdragons bring bright flower spikes in similar cottage garden colors. Penstemon gives tubular flowers loved by hummingbirds and native bees, and many varieties are North American natives. You still get height movement and pollinator activity, but without planting a hidden heart hazard beside your walkway. Before number 3, take a moment to protect your home before the problem appears. If this video is already showing you something you were never told at the nursery, subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel is built for gardeners and homesteaders who want practical, honest information that protects their families, their animals, and the money they put into their yards. The third plant is Dieffenbachia, better known as dumb cane. This one is different from the first two because it may not be outside at all. It may be in your living room, your office, your kitchen window, or even a child's bedroom. Dieffenbachia is one of those houseplants people buy without hesitation because it looks expensive, tropical, and easy. The leaves are large, glossy, and patterned with cream white yellow and deep green. It fills an empty corner fast. It tolerates lower indoor light. It does not need complicated care. That makes it perfect for stores, offices, waiting rooms, apartments, and new homeowners who want instant greenery. But the danger is hidden inside the leaf and stem tissue. Dieffenbachia contains insoluble calcium oxalate crystals, often described as microscopic needle-like raphides. When a child, cat, or dog bites into the plant, those crystals are released into the soft tissue of the mouth, tongue, lips, and throat. Imagine thousands of tiny glass splinters pressing into wet skin at the same time. That is why the reaction can be immediate and frightening. The first signs are intense burning, drooling mouth pain, swelling of the lips and tongue, vomiting, and trouble swallowing. In more serious cases, swelling can make speech difficult or breathing uncomfortable. That is where the common name dumb cane comes from. The irritation can temporarily make a person unable to speak clearly. What makes Dieffenbachia so risky is not that every exposure is fatal. Most are not. The problem is that the plant is usually placed exactly where children and pets live. It sits on a coffee table, a low plant stand, a desk, or a shelf where a climbing cat can reach it. It looks harmless, so nobody treats it like a hazard until after the bite happens. If you own one and have small children, cats or dogs, move it out of reach immediately or replace it completely. For the same lush indoor look, choose parlor palm or Boston fern. A parlor palm handles low to medium indoor light and gives a full green shape without the same mouth-burning crystals. Boston fern adds soft, classic texture and works beautifully in hanging baskets where it can fill a room with greenery. Both give you the houseplant effect people love without turning one curious bite into a painful emergency. Be honest, do you have one in your home today? The fourth plant is the one every dog owner needs to hear about carefully. It is called the Sago Palm, and at first glance, it does not look threatening at all. It looks like a small, elegant palm with a dark, textured trunk and a crown of deep green feather-like leaves. You see it in front yard, planters, patio containers, bright living rooms, and warm climate landscapes from Florida and Texas to California and the Gulf Coast. Landscape companies like it for a simple reason: it looks expensive without needing much daily care. Once established, it handles heat, holds its shape, and gives a tropical architectural look all year. For nurseries, it is also a profitable plant because people see it, want it, and rarely ask what happens if a pet bites it. But for dogs, this plant is one of the most dangerous ornamentals sold in the United States. Every part of the Sago Palm is toxic, but the seeds are the most dangerous part. They contain psychosin, a toxin that can cause severe liver damage and liver failure. That is why a single chewed seed can become a life-threatening emergency for a dog. The danger is not slow and distant. It can begin within hours. The first signs may look like an ordinary stomach problem, vomiting, drooling, diarrhea, loss of appetite, or unusual tiredness. Then the situation can turn much darker. As the liver becomes affected, a dog may become weak, wobbly, disoriented, shaky, or even have seizures. In severe cases, liver failure can develop within the next 2 or 3 days, and by then, the treatment is intensive, expensive, and not always successful. What makes Sago Palm especially dangerous is how easily the exposure happens. The seeds fall to the ground. A dog finds one while sniffing around the patio or yard. It feels like a toy or a nut. The dog chews it before anyone notices. By the time symptoms appear, the owner may have no idea what was swallowed. If you have dogs, the safest choice is not to grow Sago Palm where they can reach it. If one is already in your yard, remove fallen seeds, immediately keep pets away from the plant, and consider replacing it entirely. For the same tropical look, choose Areca Palm, Majesty Palm, or Kentia Palm instead. They still give you graceful green fronds height and that warm climate resort feeling, but without carrying the same liver failure risk that makes Sago Palm so dangerous for pets. The fifth plant is Castor Bean. This one belongs on the list because its danger reaches far beyond ordinary gardening. At first, Castor Bean looks like a dramatic ornamental made for a magazine photo. In one growing season, it can shoot up taller than a person, sometimes reaching 6 to 10 feet when heat water and soil are on its side. Its huge star-shaped leaves can be green bronze burgundy or almost black-red, and the spiny seed pods give the plant a wild tropical look. That is why gardeners buy it. In northern states, where true tropical shrubs cannot survive, winter castor bean creates instant jungle height. Seed catalogs promote it as bold, fast, architectural, and easy. From a design point of view, all of that is true. But the seeds contain ricin, one of the most infamous plant toxins in the world. Ricin is dangerous because it attacks cells at a basic level. Once released from a crushed or chewed seed, it can stop cells from making the proteins they need to function. When enough cells are affected, organs begin to fail. There is no simple household fix and no true antidote that reverses the toxin after exposure. Medical care is supportive, which means doctors treat symptoms, protect fluids and organs, and try to keep the body stable. The real risk in a home garden is the seed. Castor beans are large, smooth, shiny, and beautifully patterned. To an adult gardener, they look like seeds. To a child, they can look like beads candy or something worth collecting. To a dog, they may simply look like something interesting to chew. That is where the danger begins. This does not mean every castor bean plant will automatically harm someone. It means the plant is a poor choice for any yard with small children, dogs, curious visitors, or public access. A beautiful plant is not worth that kind of uncertainty. For most families, that trade is simple. Choose the safer plant before the risky one enters your yard. If you want the same tropical impact, plant canna lily instead. Canna gives you big leaves, bold color, and impressive height in garden beds or containers. Many varieties offer bronze burgundy or deep green foliage plus red, orange, yellow, or pink flowers. You still get the dramatic summer display, but without scattering highly toxic seeds where a child or pet might find them. Before we close, 3 more plants deserve a quick warning. Hydrangea is not as instantly dangerous as the plants we covered, but its leaves and flower buds contain cyanogenic glycosides. If a dog or a small child chews enough of the plant, those compounds can irritate the stomach and in larger amounts create a much more serious poisoning risk. Monkshood, also called aconitum, is different. Its blue and purple flowers are stunning, but the plant contains aconitin, a powerful alkaloid. Experienced gardeners treat it with gloves every time because even routine handling can cause tingling numbness, or worse, if the sap reaches cuts eyes or the mouth. Philodendron is another common houseplant that deserves respect. Like Dieffenbachia, it contains calcium oxalate crystals that can burn the mouth, swell the tongue, and cause drooling, vomiting, and distress in pets. Beautiful does not always mean harmless. That is the lesson running through this entire list. Always identify plants before bringing them home. Here is what to do next. Before buying any ornamental plant, search its scientific name with the words ASPCA toxicity. If you have pets, check every houseplant in your home this week. If an animal chews an unknown plant, call your veterinarian or animal poison control immediately. If a child eats any part of a plant you cannot identify, call poison control and do not wait for symptoms. And when you are unsure, choose a confirmed non-toxic plant or a native species that supports your local ecosystem. Now tell me in the comments which plant on this list worries you most. Share this video with one gardener or pet owner. Subscribe and turn on notifications for the next warning.